All right, guys. Yeah, things are slowing down a little bit for lunch here, so probably be a good time to do a quick sort of morning recap. Go over some of the plays, trades, ideas, and so starting with obviously off the open today, we were watching the shipping sector pretty intently, dry ships, and I wasn't trading dry ships myself, but I was watching the sympathy play, so I'm kind of watching the other stocks in the sector. This morning, my main watches were DCIX. And ESEA. So it's kind of a tricky open. I think that a lot of people were, once again, getting interested trying to go long shipping stocks. And luckily we didn't actually get a long trigger on dry ships. This initial drop, this is where things got a little tricky. This initial breakthrough VWAP on dry ships, I think you got everyone thinking short, so DCIX, all these stocks kind of followed that giant dip, but then they all had this giant bounce. Dry ships then actually came back over VWAP again, so it's kind of a tricky spot in the morning. This kind of goes back to what I say a lot about, sometimes waiting for the 15-20 minutes after the bell for things to settle. For a lot of newer traders is really the best way to go. So by the time this all settled down, then there was actually a nice trend established here when it finally put in a lower high, and then things just really started to unwind nicely on these. So luckily we didn't get any long triggers on dry ships. So I ended up just basically we all just sort of took our pick of shorts that we wanted to take on these shipping stocks. For me, my main focus was on DCIX. So I caught a couple of nice shorts on DCIX on the way down here. Bark Trader caught ESEA. I forget which ones Trade Addict got, but I noticed everyone kind of had their own plans based on, we all knew that once that morning move was over and it broke back through VWAP a second time, basically we're all bearish on it. We know that there's going to be some nice moves. A lot of these stocks were super overextended, so it was just a kind of a treat really to have such a big range on these stocks. The only thing that was tricky once again was the open here, because as per usual, for me, I did actually try to short that first bounce, and then I had to cover the first time, so took a small loss on that first one, but then nailed it a couple times on the way down here. So that was a really good start to the day on the shipping sector. Second trade I took was EVOK short. Luckily, I did not get involved. This one I did over the stream, so you guys are aware of this one, but I didn't get involved on the front side at all. I was busy with DCIX, and then eventually I saw this wash to 15. I saw a nice opportunity on this bounce back just under VWAP. That's where I got in. Super low risk. I was short 23, risk 26 basically, like just 3-cent risk. My cover was actually 97, as you guys know in this one, so pretty solid trade. It's rare. This is not like something that happens every day, but almost a perfect entry, perfect exit. Really, really nice start on that trade right there. So some good stuff this morning. And now I'm kind of on EVOK. As you guys know, I was talking a little bit earlier about how, although this looked like a decent long setup, I kind of had a funny feeling about it. So I decided against this one. I was more or less looking for it to fail and turn into a short. Typically, this is a decent setup, but you guys know I kind of have that time of day rule. If it started to go through 50, I might have taken it for a scalp, but the setup failed. Just a little bit of technical analysis here. I drew a line that essentially is just showing us, the higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. I was looking for that to break through and then put a lower high to scale in again. And obviously we're over VWAP, so it's not like the kind of spot where I'd be in for any size, but sometimes I'll start in, on like a retest of this trend. So higher low, and then, like I said, guys, on the 5-minute chart, it's harder to identify that there's a lower high there. So typically I am looking at a 5-minute chart most of the time, but I probably wouldn't have seen that weakness the same way when I switched to a 1-minute. So when I switched to a 1-minute, you can really see that lower high come in, and then it broke the trend line, and then it came back up and retested it. So a lot of time what I'll do is, if I'm looking to get in, I'm going to scale in short into that push with a fairly tight stop, in this case 41, probably 42, or if you're a little more wider risk. You could go off high a day if you wanted to, but typically for me, if we're over VWAP, I'm not going to risk that much. I'm just going to scale in, and then if this starts to roll back through 25, I think it's going to be the rest of the day this should fade off. They gave a really hard time on those shorts this morning, so I was super grateful to have just picked the spot perfectly, nail and bail, in and out, stayed away from all this noise here, and you can see that it gave a really hard time, I think, to a lot of people. So the way I see it is a nice morning squeeze. Of course, there was like a lot of bashers on this stock pre-market. So probably just too many, as we see a lot of the time, it's just too many people, the herd, trying to all do the same thing, which can really create these nasty squeezes. And then once again, I think that, on this bounce, probably people reshorted it and they got caught again. And then people probably shorted this, and then now they're seeing higher lows, and there's just a lot of noise in this. So I think that it's kind of settled down a bit. The spot we picked in here was perfect, and now hopefully, if it stays under 240, I'll say under 242, I'm okay with this one. I'm hoping it just kind of fades back off, but if not, no big deal. So 42 would be a stop for a flat on this one, basically. That's EVOK. And then we had APVO, where this was just a standard VWAP rejection play where I shorted the retest rate. Actually, I remember it didn't quite get there. It was right here at 247, and my covers on that one was 229. So it wasn't a huge trade or anything there. But and then there was another opportunity here where it washed back through 25 and it hit as low as 212. This one's done for me today. It's just chopping around for now. Let's see. We had a lot of exciting action out there today. So I really couldn't be happier with how this Friday is going so far, and hopefully there's a few more good trades to set up into the close. In fact, I'm sure there will be. Unfortunately, all the trades today were all shorts, which isn't really typical. Lately, we've been doing a lot of longs, but it's just one of those days where I was ready for the potential to play the shipping sector long. The moment that the shipping sector was no longer, looking bullish at all, once it broke through VWAP that second time, completely just changed the bias, started looking for shorts and get on. So here's a EVOK now, and it's just coming up to test on VWAP. Hopefully this just breaks through and slowly, just a patience play, hopefully throughout the rest of the day. But if you did end up playing what I mentioned earlier through this trend line, if you did end up shorting into that area, always smart to cover some into VWAP, make sure you get paid. If we break through, look for a lower high. If it puts a lower high under 25, then this one should just continue. I think it should continue down lower. In fact, I might just go ahead and cover a few right here at 26. So I'm on 26 right there. You know what? I'm just gonna let that go. It's probably going to bounce a little bit, and then hopefully we get through VWAP later. I'm gonna hold on to that, guys. I didn't take a whole lot of size, so that's fine. Anyways, that's kind of where we're at for the morning. What else did we have? We had a pretty significant spike and drop in APTO. This was kind of disappointing because I was eyeing up, as you guys know, that $2 area. This is the daily chart up top. Just eyeing up that $2 area for a perfect short opportunity potentially. You can see that it was a huge support area for a long time, and with a move this significant, this fast, without a dip, is often going to give you a really nice starter position for a short. Then once it's confirmed, so you can add to the winners, is what I usually do in those situations. Unfortunately, the halt kind of just killed the momentum on this one. So that was kind of annoying, But, a lot of good plays out there today. I think we got a lot more to come this afternoon. So great job, by the way, guys. It's really nice to see, a lot of you guys aren't just looking to do what I'm doing. I'm shorting maybe DCIX, but you see a better opportunity or a more suitable opportunity for your trading style in something like ESEA, and I love to see that. So nice job in chat today, guys. And I'm going to be here all afternoon today because I feel like it's going to be one of those days that's worth sticking around. So Keep up the good work, and we'll have some trade ideas as usual going into 1:30 p.m. today.